Hi, this is Bhaskar. Today class we are going to discuss about automotive chassis component design. In that first unit we are going to discuss. The first unit is a vehicle frame and suspensions. Okay, so we are going to see one by one. So what are the forces and stresses uh, acting on the automobile frame? Okay, so generally there are various forces are acting in the automobile frame. In that the major forces are weight of the vehicle. Okay, as well as the passenger weight, then centrifugal force, aerodynamic force, bending moment and the torsion moment, and one more thing, impact load. Okay, so these are the major forces acting on the automobile frame. Then similarly, there are various stresses acting on the frame. In that the main stresses are namely bending stress and torsional stress. Next one, what is we mean spring rate? The spring rate is defined as it is the measurement of amount of forces needed to compress a spring for a particular distance. That is called as a spring rate. Generally, the spring rate is denoted by small letter k. The mathematical formula for finding the spring rate is given here. It states that k equal to d power 4 into g divided by 8 capital D cube into n. Let k is a spring index, d is a wire diameter, then g is a modulus of elasticity. Similarly, capital D is a mean diameter of the spring coil, and finally N is the number of active spring coils. Okay, so here there are two diameters there. One is a small d and another one is a capital D. The capital D is nothing but mean diameter of the spring coil. That means it is a outer diameter. The capital D value always high value, and small d value is the less numerical value as compared to capital D. Okay, similarly n is nothing but number of active turns. Okay, so there are two things are available. One is a active number of turn and one more thing, total number of turns. Okay, so while designing a spring calculation, we need to consider the number of active spring coils or number of active spring turns. Okay, both are same. Next one, spring index. Okay, so don't confuse between spring rate and spring index. The spring index is nothing but it is the ratio between mean diameter to wire diameter of the spring is called as a spring index. Generally the spring index is denoted by capital letter C. So the mathematically we can express capital C equal to capital D divided by small d. Let C is a spring index, capital D is a mean diameter of the spring, and small d is a wire diameter of the spring. Okay. So next, what are the different types of section used in the vehicle frame? Or we can ask what are the types of chassis frame used in the automobile? Okay. So in that there are so many classification is there. In that the main type of metal sections are, one is I section, L section, channel section, T section and Z section. Similarly, based on the arrangement, top head section and bottom with robot, then box it is a rectangular type. Similarly, H section, then Y section and pi section. Okay, so the image is showing is a cross sectional view of automobile chassis frame. Okay, so each and every section having a both advantage as well as the disadvantage based upon the load condition. Similarly, based on that application, we are choosing a appropriate sections of automobile chassis frame. Then, what are the advantages of using coil spring over the leaf spring? So, generally, if you're taking the leaf spring, we can use it for a heavy duty purpose. For example, if you're taking a Taurus and all, in that lorry, we can able to see the leaf spring in the rear side. Okay, the leaf spring is attached to the frame. Okay, so if you're taking a coil spring here and all, we can use a light duty vehicles as compared to the heavy duty vehicle. For the light duty purpose, we can use the coil spring. Okay, generally both coil spring as well as the leaf springs are used. It is a kind of suspension system. Okay, so in that coil spring is suspensions which provide more range of suspension movement and allow the user a wider turning envelopes through the suspension range than the leaf spring. Okay, particularly all high performance applications we can use the coil spring rather than the leaf spring. Okay, because the leaf spring design and all is a more complex one. At the same time, it consumes the more space. Okay, here also both coil spring as well as the leaf spring having advantage as well as the disadvantage. But generally, as compared to the leaf spring, the coil spring is more advantage for the medium duty or low duty vehicles. Okay, next, what are the forces acting on the chassis frame? Okay, so there are so many categories that are available for load classification. Okay, so in that the particular key points are given here. First one is the weight of the vehicle and the passenger weight. Okay, so even without passenger also, if the vehicle weight is more, that means self weight of the vehicle is more, definitely the chassis will going to failure. Okay, so in order to avoid that, we need to design the chassis frame like that. Similarly, passenger, for example, if you're taking a bus, the maximum capacity is given based on that design. Beyond that limit, if you having the passengers, there are also certain problem. Okay, so immediately the chassis won't failure. So day by day the same issue happen for period of time, definitely the chassis frame going to failure. Maybe a self weight of the vehicle or more passenger weight than recommended design value. Okay, which causes vertical bending of the side members. Okay, so in that frame we having a cross member and side member. In that, definitely the side member is going to affect first. Similarly, vertical loads when the vehicle comes across a bump or hollow, which result in longitudinal torsion due to one wheel lifted with other wheels at the usual road level, and the load due to the road chamfer, then side wind cornering force while taking a turn, which result in a lateral bending of side members. Similarly, load due to the wheel impact with load obstacles may causes the particular wheel to remain obstructed while the other wheels tends to move forward, which distorting the frame to the parallelogram shape. Okay, so we not able to maintain the frame in a uniform straightness. Okay, the parallelism error going to happen. Then engine torque as well as the braking torque, it tend to bend the side members in the vertical plane. Generally the torque is nothing but, if the torque is more, the speed of the engine is less. Always the torque inversely proportional to the speed. Okay, so for that purpose only, if you start your bike, for example take a bike, if you start your bike in a first gear, definitely even if you give a full axle rate, maximum you can able to travel 20 km per hour like that. Okay, at the same time if you run your bike in a fourth gear, during that case the torque should be very less. So remember, the torque always inversely proportional to the speed. That means torque increase means speed going to decrease, vice versa. Then sudden impact load due to the collision or which may result in a general collapse. Okay, so not only collision, so other factor also, some natural disaster or sudden impact or any accident and all. Okay, so these and all will affect the chassis frame. Next, what are the factors considered while designing a torsion bar? The torsion bar also come under category of suspension system. In that, so in that we are going to see one by one. The torsion spring shaft. Okay, the shaft that are much smaller than 90 percentage should be avoided, otherwise buckling may occur. Buckling is nothing but due to the self weight it going to bend. So the torsion bar should be limited length. Okay, so as well as we need to maintain either it is a hollow or solid. Okay, so based on that load condition we need to consider that. Then minimum hysteresis. Okay, torsion spring application that require a minimum hysteresis which reduce their frictional loss by adding space between adjacent coils. Then torsion springs are capable of surging or resonance phenomena. Okay, the load and the deflection requirement. Okay, For this case, the specified torsion spring loads at a fixed angular position instead of fixed deflection from the free position. So whenever if you provide the fixed position, it is very difficult. Okay, so we need to provide some flexible requirements. Okay, torsional spring stress. It is a bending in the main causes of stress in the torsional spring and may require a stress correction factor configured during design. Then, when designing the end with the sharp bends, the wire may be stretched or marked and may cause stress concentration, leading to a reduction in design stress level that may fall below the recommended level. Okay. Similarly, the double torsion spring and single torsion springs are designed with the same method. Okay, here the design double torsion spring, so they coil out from the center instead of coiling in the from the ends. Okay, so next one. What is a energy absorbing frame? Okay, so the most of automobile frames are nowadays commonly designed with thin walled structure. Okay, in order to reduce the weight as well as the reduce the price of the car, mostly they are going to a composite one. Okay, at the same time, for the frame material also they are going to reduce the thickness, which can absorb energy through deformation in the collision process. In frontal impact, the front portion of car body is the main energy absorbing area. The more the energy is absorbed, the safer the occupant is. In this, by considering the front and rear end of the frame is a manner during collision and absorb the impact energy. Okay. So here typical diagram given here for easy to understood the energy absorbing frame. Okay, in that we can divide the major two category. One is a crest distance, another one is a occupant compartment. Okay, so if you provide in case in order to protect the occupant compartment, we are going to focus the crest distance, how much distance we need to provide. Okay, so for that we should maintain the energy absorbing frame. Okay, if you provide the energy absorbing frame, we can minimize the impact to the occupant compartment. Next one. So, what are the different configuration of laminated leaf spring suspension system? Okay. So, in the image showing a different types of configuration of laminated leaf spring. Okay. So, mostly the leaf springs are used for heavy duty vehicles for suspension system. Okay. It absorb the vibration and release gradually. Okay. So, the sudden impact load won't affect the frame as well as the body as well as the passenger. Okay, so for that purpose the laminated leaf spring playing a major role. Laminated leaf spring configuration may be classified by the portion of an ellipse they represented fully, three-quarter, half and quarter elliptic. Okay, the application of originally fully elliptic spring as shown in figure. It refers to the days of coaches, but now it is used only for the suspension for a commercial vehicles. Okay. Next one, what is a nipping? So nipping is a very important term in the field of leaf spring. Okay. So here nip is the initial gap between extra full length leaf and the graduated length leaf before the assembly. Okay. The nip is calculating before in the assembly of leaf spring. Here nipping is defined as and leaving the gap between full length leaf to graduated leaf length. Okay. So nipping is pre-stressing achieved by a difference in radii of curvature. Okay. So it is the image showing in the here for easy to understand. Okay. So this arrow mark indicating the nipping of leaf spring. Okay. So this is called as a larger radius of curvature. So this is called as a nipping of leaf spring. Okay. So here the initial bend created through the fixed bolt during the assembly section. So these are the some basic concept for a vehicle frame. So next we are going to see a one numerical sum. Okay. So calculate the maximum bending and the maximum section modulus The wheelbase is 180 centimeter and overall length is 360 centimeter. Equal overhang on either side 270 kgf acting on the center of gravity of the load 45 centimeter in front axial. Okay, 180 kgf acting on a center of gravity. CG is nothing but center of gravity of load 45 centimeter in front of rear axial. 67.5 kgf acting on the center of gravity of load 45 centimeter behind rear axial. In addition, there is a uniformly distributed load of 1.75 kgf per centimeter run over the entire length of chassis. Okay. Now I am going to show how to solve the numericals of one by one. Okay. So thank you.